Hey guys, and welcome to episode number 12 of the Modern Gaming Weekly Podcast. Episode 12 already. We made it to the dozen, the dirty dozen, people. Today it's me and Baymax, dynamic duo, and we're talking about Blood Hunt. This is one that we've been working on for a bit. This actually should have been released a few weeks ago, but we're just getting on it now. We finally finished it. It's all edited. It's ready to go and for your listening pleasure. And we also have a little bonus content at the end for you as well. We go into some of the Nintendo Direct updated pricing for their online expansion with about the last 15 minutes of the episode. So stay tuned. We're going to get into a lot of Blood Hunt game. If you have played it, hey, we're going to go into what we think about it, the ins and outs of the game. And if you haven't played it, maybe this will kind of persuade you to play it or not play it maybe. Either way, it was fun to record. We had a lot of laughs in this one. And stay tuned to the end of the episode because we're going to go into some of the Nintendo stuff right at the end of their updated pricing since that was just released. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to episode number 12 of the Modern Gaming Weekly Podcast. I am your host, the Able Geek, Able himself. Almost forgot my name.
You're like,
I'm your host, Boo. Boo. You know, I was going to cut that out at first, but now that we're just rolling with it, I think I'm going to leave it in. And of course, I'm joined as always with my partner in crime here, Brown Baymax. How you doing tonight, Brown?
I'm doing good, pretty well. Just happy to be back.
Yeah, man. We've been we're going to be talking about Blood Hunt today. We've had this episode kind of planned out for a few weeks now. Game's already been out for a while, so if people had a chance to play it, I'm sure they went and played it, tested it out. If you haven't heard about it, we'll be going into some of it today. So you'll get definitely a lot of information and our opinion on it. We've played it a bit and some group queues, some solo queues, and so yeah, it's finally here, episode 12, Blood Hunt.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know what Blood Hunt is, kind of go into that here just a little bit. And this is right off the website, is a thrilling free-to-play battle royale system set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe. Use your supernatural powers, weapons, and wit to dominate the night and restore the masquerade. Kind of just touching in a little bit of the history of this game, because I've seen the Masquerade series. I've never really played any of them. Have you played any of those going back into some of the older games?
No, I've only seen gameplay. Like, I've never played any of them as well. So the only thing I've seen was just the gameplay from them, and that's it.
Same here, yeah. And I went back and I took a look, and it looks like some came out quite a bit ago. Like you have some that came out like 10, 15 years ago, kind of rocking those PS2 graphics, it looks like. And when I first saw the Masquerade, it really reminded me of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer for like PS2 or Xbox. And at first, that's what I thought it was, and then realized it was this other game. And then we hear Blood Hunt coming out, which is a free to play battle royale game. And I guess it's set in that universe, but I wasn't really too familiar with it, so kind of just jumped in it with no knowledge. Developer is Shark Mob AB. And what do you think about it? I mean, we got into the early access of it, and we played a few matches. What were your initial thoughts on it being a battle royale, but with vampires?
I mean, it's an interesting thing. Interesting game. It's not a thing. It's a game. um, it's something new compared to all the other battle royales. Like, look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then not Modern Warfare, Warzone, and then you have Apex, and then you have Fortnite. Like, they have different elements, but this one is like, it's different. You're playing as a vampire, so I mean, I think they have multiple what's it called? They have multiple categories, like for tanks,
Oh yeah, like
and
different
so on.
classes.
Yeah, different classes. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. And I was playing as the brute.
Mhm.
I love to tank around and, you know, be like, surprise, I'm here.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, and like with battle royale games, they've been kind of climbing in popularity over like the last like 5, 6, 7 years. So, games like you mentioned, like Fortnite, Apex, a lot of these other ones that are coming out. Even Call of Duty now has their battle royale mode, where before they just had like a multiplayer and then the campaign. So now they're adding their battle royale, kind of jumping on the train as well. I'm not a huge fan. I'm going to admit that right off the bat before we kind of go into this game and review it. I'm not the biggest fan of battle royale games. Um, some of them are pretty fun, but it's not like my top choice of game to play. I'll play them, but it's not. It's not my first choice. How about you? Is it? How do you enjoy them?
I mean, I love battle royale games. I mean, it passes the time for me. It passes the time for just playing different games because we play a lot of DVD.
Yeah.
And battle royale is something something a little different because I do play a lot of Call of Duty with Bento, Rotary, and everyone else. Um, it's just I fell in love with it. Except for Fortnite. Fortnite didn't like the building aspect of it whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, Fortnite, I enjoyed Fortnite for a little bit. I couldn't get the building down in battle. Like I would get I would either be able to like build quickly or I could fight. I couldn't do both at the same time, unfortunately. And I just never really liked the building aspect of it. So I would usually like get up in a mountain somewhere and just snipe people from afar. And that's how I played that's how I play a lot of shooting games actually, but Fortnite in particular. So yeah, I mean, the thing I do like though about battle royale games is it's a good like 15, 20 minute game, and then you can put it down if you have to. Most people do play for hours at a time, but if you want to knock out one or two games, you got like 30 minutes to spare. You can knock out like two games and then just kind of move on from there. You don't have to play for an extended period of time or look for like save points like in certain like adventure games or role playing games. So that's the thing I like about not only that, but like when we play DVD, like you mentioned, we can knock out a few games and switch to another game or call it a day. There's no commitment really to it. So
Exactly.
that's one thing I do like about it. But yeah, you're mentioning like the classes. There's actually six different classes from different vampire clans that you can pick from. They all have their passive and active abilities. You mentioned the tank class, the brute. I forgot the name of the one that I was playing, but it was he can go stealth and then throw out like bombs that go
I
off when people interact with them.
I think that was either the Prowler, Siren, or Muse,
Might have
or
been the prowler, I believe.
or Vandal or Saboteur.
Saboteur, maybe that one too. Yeah, I think it was either Saboteur or the other one you mentioned there. But I mean, it's pretty nice. You have a little different ones you can pick from. They have their active abilities. That almost reminded me kind of like of a kind of World of Warcraft type deal where you pick your class and they have their passive abilities that they have and things like that. So that's a cool aspect of it. I wish other battle royale games would kind of implement that into it, where you can have like passive abilities and things like that. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so I mean, being a vampire is cool. I mean, in this game, you can climb up walls, which makes getting around pretty easily. You can jump high, you can jump on top of cars, set off alarms, pick up loot. You can also feed off the NPCs that are around and get buffs with certain ones as well. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool abilities. What do you think about as far as like the movement within like the city, being able to like jump on rooftop to rooftop and things like that?
I actually like that, like where you could just sit on top of the rooftops and see who's in the bottom shooting or who's sneaking around. Like if you're watching digitally, apparently diligently, uh, from there you could see what people are doing, and you could third party them and kill them very quickly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you can do your, solos, twos, threes, depending on, how many people you want to play with. When I was playing with our buddies, Miko and Dorshi, when I first started, they kind of carried me because I didn't really know what to do. And I had no clue in this game that you can actually res yourself, which is kind of cool. So if an enemy downs you, instead of having your team have to come and res you up, you can actually res up yourself if you get enough time and they don't come and kill you. Um, And what's funny is, so Miko had came and res me, and I didn't. I was there chilling. I thought the game was over for me because I'm like, I'm down. I gotta wait for somebody to come get me. And he came and res me, and I was sitting there for like 15 seconds before I realized I was back in the game. So I'm like, oh, I'm back now. Yeah, let me go fight now. But yeah, it's one of those that I think you definitely have to play a bit to get the hang of it first, the mechanics of the game, like most games. But you know, if you want, there's people on there that are so good, and the game hasn't even been out that long. So I think it's going to be one of those games that you kind of have to commit to if you want to be really good at it and rank up in their system, etc.
Yeah, and to build up the characters as well for each class, and then I mean, your character looks like Voldemort
Yeah.
from Harry Potter.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got some that kind of look human. You got some that do, yeah, look like just weird creatures. And what's funny, I kind of made mine look like an emo, uh, you know, Voldemort. So it was kind of funny. Customization in the game so far, I think it can, it's good for a start. I would like to see a little bit more classes, more customizations. You can customize things like their eye color, the way their face looks, clothes, hairstyle, all that kind of stuff. So kind of lets you put your own kind of mark on your character and kind of have them customized to your liking. But it is still kind of limited. I would like to see a little bit more customization options in there, more cosmetics and things like that. And that might come as the game progresses. It's relatively new. So I think that might be something that comes maybe in the near future, as long as the game stays, relevant.
I thought it was on beta or early access, right? Um, I could be
I know
wrong.
when we were playing, we were doing early access on it. I'm not sure if it's actually released out of beta or not yet.
No, because I don't see it on my list anymore, and I have it installed. I had it installed for Back for Blood, not Back for Blood. Wow, Blood Hunt. Wow, I'm thinking about the wrong game.
You're in the wrong podcast. um, yeah, so I'm not sure if it's out of beta yet. I know it's been what, maybe a month or so since we first installed and played it, maybe a little more. But yeah, it's been fun. The cool thing is too is like I was mentioning how you can jump on cars. If you jump on cars, you'll set off alarms, which can notify not only other players that you're in the area, but NPCs as well. And the cool thing about this battle royale game that I do like is not only are you fighting other players, teams of other players, but you're also fighting against NPCs that can shoot you down, and they are tough too. They're not like NPCs where you can kind of push them over in other games. These guys will take you out quick if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, the auto aim freaking NPCs,
Yep.
delicious.
Yes, it's tough. And when I first started playing, I think my first match or two, I would go and feed on like NPC just kind of in front of everybody, like I was just going to walk away from there, and then they'd come and start shooting at me, and you get people get alerted right away. But yeah, it's an interesting system. Kind of adds another aspect of it, another element where you kind of have to be careful, a little more stealthy, that you're not jumping on cars. And I still do it on accident when I'm trying to make it from rooftop to rooftop. I'll miss a jump and fall, land on a van, and then everybody knows where I'm at. So, but there's definitely a lot, since it's like an open city with a lot of buildings. The thing I like about it is you could kind of run down hallways and around corners and down alleyways, and you can even hide in bushes and things like that to get away. And so you can definitely get that bush tech that we're used to.
Bush tech. I was waiting for it. I was like, Bush tech.
Yeah, that's one of the cool parts about it. There was there was a little bit of a kind, I guess, controversy, if you want to call it that. I was reading up on at least the beta when I installed it. Is there was word that it does install an anti-cheat backdoor software on your PC, and some people were saying that that software was not removed when they deleted the game; that it's kind of stayed on there. So that's something I haven't seen it for myself yet, because I haven't tried uninstalling the game. But there was, yes, I guess some kind of files that kind of get stuck on your your hard drive when you try to delete the game. Supposedly, I guess we'll have to check into that and see.
I want to try that later then.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, luckily we're good. We're both techies. We can get in the file system and take a look at that. And if that's the case, I'm sure we can get rid of it, no problem. But for the average gamer who just installs and deletes when they don't want it anymore, and they don't really look at any kind of traces or folders of those games, being left on there, that I guess could be a security risk, maybe, especially if it's some kind of anti-cheat backdoor. Um, can leave some loopholes into your system, possibly. So.
Yeah, because all files need to be deleted. So I mean,
Hmm.
technically files don't get deleted. They just get basically turned into files of zeros.
Hmm.
So it's the files are there, but they're just zeros and there's no
Yeah,
files. They get rewritten as zeros.
like a
Uh,
shell. Yeah.
yeah. So other than you go in there physically remove it and so on. But we'll see what happens tonight.
We'll see. Yeah, can go and delete it and take a look. Now that we're finally doing the podcast, I'm gonna free up some space on my hard drive because I think I have like 60 gigs left. Um, but yeah, so that I mean that's a concern, I guess. I read it on a few different blogs and reviews, so I guess several people have experienced that. I don't know if it's done intentionally or if it's maybe something that just gets left behind, maybe like a coding error or something like that. But we'll see. We'll kind of look a little more into it as we experiment with it. But yeah, so as far as some more features in the game, there's the buff system that we are kind of talking about, and you get that when you feed off of NPCs on the game. And usually the NPCs, the victims, if you will, when you get close to them, they'll tell you if they have like a increased melee buff or maybe a buff that lets you heal faster. And so as you progress through the match and you're feeding off these people, you'll continually buff up and become stronger. So that's a pretty cool element of the game. I like that a lot.
Same
And
here.
uh, and then going into some of the like weapons in the game, you get 3 slots. You get 2 ranged and 1 melee slot. And in this game, the melee is actually pretty decent. I've gone up against people with like a spiked bat or something, and they can take you down quick if you're not careful. So the guns are pretty cool for sure because you got a lot of automatic weapons you can use, but the melee is pretty badass too.
I I don't like the melee that much because it didn't help that I kept losing my melee matches.
That can happen, yeah,
Yeah, I was using what was it? I think it was a katana or something,
yeah.
and I started swinging, and apparently I was just whiffing every swing. But this dude just kept hitting me, and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's the thing. I went up against a guy. I think he had a katana as well, and I had dual pistols, and he just got in close, and that was it. It was like a few swings, and I was done. So I haven't really used the melee in combat myself because I'm a noob still, and I don't really know how to use close combat in this game. Again, like I'm trying to hit people from afar with like sniper rifles and stuff like that. So um, that's what I like, and I like the ability you have. I forget what it's called, but it allows you to do like a search of the area where you're kind of like, I guess, instincts kick in and it does a scan of the area
Oh,
and it
like
lets you
that,
know.
like the echolocation crap.
Yeah, it's almost like a sonar or something, and it
Hmm.
lets you know where gunshots are, where weapons may be, and it actually spreads out pretty far. So that's one cool thing about the game. I like, and very cool element they put in there.
Yeah, same here. Like, I that's what I like as well because it lets you know who's nearby. Like if an NPC is nearby, or let's say you need to get a certain buff,
Mhm.
you could do that echolocation stuff, and you could find that certain buff that you need because it'll light up either like yellow or purple or green, and you'll be like, oh, it's right there. I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah, exactly. And like most battle royale games, you got the circle that closes in on you. Um, Kind of shrink the match so that way matches don't last forever. That's a good mechanic. I think when they were making these games, they're like, these matches are going to, people are just hiding out in houses or whatever, or like in hills, they're going to take way too long. So they kind of, shrink the map on purpose, get everybody closer together. But in this game, it's a red mist that closes in. And the cool thing about this one is it's a little bit different. It kind of works more in like a cluster, and it's not so much like a perfect circle that comes in. So it can actually take over certain areas of the map, and it kind of closes in almost like in a cluster. I guess like you would know like a cloud more than like a other games that do like a circle or shield or something that like that comes in on you. So
It's a fart cloud. Don't worry.
yeah, it's a big red fart cloud. But yeah, I mean that's a cool aspect of it. And then you get in the mist, it starts killing you. But what do you think about that versus just throwing in the circle, the shield circle that everybody throws in?
Well, it's like the same thing with Call of Duty. It's a green smoke. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a green fart cloud. But I mean, it's still interesting. It's not perfect either. If you noticed, when we were playing last time, like it's supposed to be like a perfect circle for the mist, but it's not. It's like because the cloud could mist
yeah,
over you. Like you could be standing next to it and you could still get hit by it.
yeah. Yeah, it's a little different. So I like that though, that it's a little different. It's not like this perfect thing that you can anticipate coming in, and kind of just changes depending on the match you're in. So that's a cool aspect there. I like that. And they might build on that in the future as the game progresses. The other thing I want to talk about is the kind of the fatalities of the game, the executes. I think they're called Diablerize, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, it's kind of like the finishing move you do in the game, where you kill your opponent so they can't regenerate. Um, and if you're down, of course, you can self revive. But if somebody gets their hands on you, the one I've seen, and they may add more of these later on, but they usually just pick them up by the throat and like snap their neck and kill them. So,
I mean, you suck them and then kill them. Apparently.
well, yeah, probably got to buy him dinner. Got to buy him dinner first, and
I mean, not in that way.
then
Oh my god.
there's a process. You buy him dinner, you take him out to a nice, then Diablerize them.
Yeah, but like,
But yeah, it's a cool system. I would like to see it. I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan, so I would like to see kind of like fatalities done in there. Different ones depending on your class. Maybe you can do like two or three. You can unlock maybe more as you unlock in-game content. Maybe you can do several of them. But what do you think about that as far as maybe doing different kind of these Diablerize, aka fatality type moves to finish off your
oh,
opponents?
dude, if they come out with custom ones where, like you were saying, like fatalities and such, that would be fantastic. Like having the what was it, the brute, uh,
Hmm.
the tank, basically just sit there and just like rip them apart
Hmm.
and to ingest the blood and such.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, there's different things like with the stealth one as well. Sit there and just walk up behind them and just like slit their throat, or just sit there and just start stabbing them rapidly.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it would be pretty bad. Even if you can use your weapons too, like maybe you can take out your katana and then like shove it through their head or something like that. Just depending on what weapon you have, or even like in Mortal Kombat. I don't know if you remember, like Striker, he would use his like Uzis to do his
Yep.
fatality. Like if you could do something like that, maybe with your AK or something, just light them up and blow off their arms or something. Anything. I think it'd be cool. The game's already pretty gruesome and graphic as far as that goes. So why not add a little more to it like that? Um, but yeah, I mean that's the gist of the game. I think it's a pretty good game so far from what we've played. I would. It's not a game I think I would play a lot right now as it is, but if they keep adding to it and maybe you get like more maps, more classes, more of these executes, then it's something I would probably pick up and play, especially since it's a free game. I don't know if we mentioned that, but it doesn't cost anything. Maybe in the future they might add a cost to it. Definitely probably have a cost for like cosmetics and stuff. But I don't know. Do you see yourself playing this game in the future?
um, I could probably play it like if everyone's gonna play it, yeah. But it's not something that I'll probably rush home from work and be like, oh, I'm gonna play Blood.
Yeah.
But it's not that type of game for me. Like, don't get me wrong, but one thing I don't like about as well that you just mentioned, and I forgot to mention it earlier, is the map size. The map is actually pretty small.
Hmm.
Um, Now, it
For the
was a bigger
yeah.
map and more people, then that would have been more understanding as well.
Yeah, for the amount of players that load in, yeah, it is kind of small. You're going to run into people pretty quickly. I don't think I went more than maybe like a minute or two before I ran into battle. And sometimes you want a little bit more time, like a bigger map, so that way you can load up on like armor and weapons and things like that before you start having to fight groups of people right away. But that's something maybe they might consider. The thing I think is, even though the maps aren't that huge, maybe just the fact that you can like hide in bushes and you can be a little stealthier in this, I think, compared to a lot of like Fortnite, where
Bush tech.
you could turn into a bush in Fortnite, but nobody believes you're an actual bush.
I mean,
So
if you're
maybe,
hiding in a bush with a bush, I mean,
yeah, like
if
next to a
you don't have
tree or
a
something, maybe.
if you don't have a gun sticking out,
Yeah, that's the other bad part too, or your cosmetics are sticking out of the bush. But yeah, I think maybe just because you can be a little stealthier, maybe that's why. But it would be nice to have slightly bigger maps in this game.
Oh
But
yeah,
as far as like 1 through 10, you can give a decimal if you want. What would you give this game?
0.1. No, I'm joking. That's bad. No, no, guys, don't. Um, I would give it a, I would give it a 6 or close,
Six.
like that's closer to a 7, like around there.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? My score, this is crazy. So we're on the same path here. I was going to give it a 6.8. That was going to be my score. So we're probably right there with how we feel about this game. 6.8 is my score on it. I would probably play it again, but they got to add more to it. Either more classes, more maps, more weapons, just something, to give a little more flavor. And
Upgrade
since
the
it's early in the
graphics.
game, update the graphics maybe a little bit, yeah. For a free game, it's decent, but maybe
PS2 graphics, man. I was
as
like,
I think if they get more revenue in the game, people playing it and they're buying, like battle passes and cosmetics, we'll probably see more and more stuff going on with it. But for the initial release and or beta or whatever it's in right now, I feel it's decent. But yeah, it's still 6.8. It's maybe a little better than average, but nothing that I would take a second look at unless they do some updates to it and add some more stuff.
and they're gonna probably do that as well. I think there's already a battle pass. I could be wrong. But I think it's just cosmetics, and I think it was the battle pass was like $10. I think. When I was hearing Miko and Dorshi play,
Hmm.
but like I said, but I could be wrong. 'Cause they play a lot of games, and
They
it's
do.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, I like to stick to, like 1 or 2 games and play those for the most and, dip into a few others here and there. But, there's, like Miko, like you said, every week he's playing a different game. So, um, you know, and that's cool because, you get to play a lot, but I like to stick with like 1 or 2 as my main games. Right now, it's DBD. It's kind of our DVD, Rocket League and a few others, but
Well, I'm happy that we're playing Rocket League. Not gonna lie,
yeah.
that's been fun, and we've been just having just fun playing it. But I'm trying to shy away from DVD a little bit. Like we play that way
Yeah.
too much. But there's new games now that we're heading into the holiday season.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna we're getting more games that are coming out. So
Christmas is around the corner, man. And then, as we kind of wrap up here in like the last 10 minutes or so of the podcast, I want to throw in a little bonus content here since we finished up a Blood Hunt. And, our last episode, episode 11, go take a listen if you haven't yet, was on Nintendo Direct. Shameless plug, man. Shameless plug. Was on Nintendo Direct, and I mean, we had you, me, and Saint Valentino in here, and we had a lot to say on a lot of the stuff that came out. Now we got the updated pricing on the online service with the N64 games and Sega and Animal Crossing, whatever that is. And so, what do you think about it? What do you think about the pricing, first of all? And are you going to get the expanded online service?
so let's start off with the pricing. Okay, so the pricing is gonna be $49.99. That's the expanded that comes with Animal Crossing DLC, apparently. uh,
The least hype. It's the least hype. Unless you're an Animal Crossing fan, then you're probably excited for it. But
and then you get the N64 games and you get the Sega channel as well. So
did you
I'm
just say the Sega Channel?
I
That
called it the
basically is
Sega channel
it basically is the Sega Channel, I guess.
because
You
it's an
just
online service.
you just lost all the Gen Zers out there. They're
Oh
like
yeah.
Sega Channel.
If you guys don't know what Sega Channel is, it was a service that they had through RF, and it'll be sent to your cartridge, and then you were able to download games. That was the way of the internet back then
Yep.
to get games at
Kind
your
of
home.
like pay-per-view back in the day. You had to have that pay-per-view box separate, and then you had to like purchase stuff directly through there. That's kind of how what the Sega Channel was, except you pay for your service and you go and you kind of just scroll through this catalog of games and play them. Man, I wanted that so bad as a kid, and I never had it.
The look on your face when it said Sega Channel, you were like, "What the hell?" But moving on with that, yeah, you get all these channels because you get the Super NES, and then you get NES, and then the online services and such. Now, people are freaking out because of the price. Yes, it is $50. It's a $30 hike. But looking at it and doing a little bit of research, you got Microsoft that's in this project as well, because Nintendo doesn't own Banjo and Kazooie anymore because
Mm,
Rare is owned by Microsoft. So you got to look at it licensing for the games as well, because they're not gonna just add just Banjo and Kazooie. They're gonna add other Rare titles, like
yeah.
hopefully Diddy Kong Racing race cars.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, but you're getting all those N64 games. You're getting, yeah, it was thrown last minute for the Sega games, but you're getting games for free. And it's, yeah, it's small limited for the N64, but you're getting a big list for Sega Genesis and a big list for NES and Super NES because they keep adding to it.
Yeah,
But I mean, $50, you're still, it's better than spending $60. Even if it was $60, but they gave us more channels. Yeah, I'm not gonna complain about it because still 60 for a year is not bad, and 50 for a year is not bad. Now, if you're gonna do the family plan as well, it's something that I was thinking about. Get a bunch of friends, do the family plan. You're only spending what, roughly technically $4 a month for, like, it's 79.99. And
how many people can jump on that?
I think it's 7 or 8 people
Oh,
on
okay.
the family plan. I could be wrong on that, but it's, I mean, it's a family plan group. I mean, if everyone throws in, if it's 80, if there's 8 people, that's $10 each. That for a whole year.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no complaints on that.
Yeah, actually, I just looked it up. It's up to 8 account holders, so yeah, it's not bad.
So if you're doing a family of 8, if $10, I'm like, it's $10 for the whole year. Just call it a day.
Yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense as well. You got friends or even just family members you want to share the account and go for it. Are you going to get it when it comes out, the expanded online?
Yeah. There's no if. The moment they mentioned N64, I was like, I took off my shirt, rubbed my nipples. I was like, yes.
Yeah. For me, I like the fact that they're adding N64 because for me it was one of my favorite consoles growing up. Had a lot of good titles on it. The Sega Genesis, although I did like, I do like Sega Genesis. I just feel like there's so many outlets for Sega now. Like, you can get like a PS4, Sega bundle where it has like 30, 40, 50 games on it. You can emulate them so easy now, and the size of them are so small. You can fit them like on a thumb drive if you wanted, have the whole collection there. I mean, then that's a whole nother topic. I know that a lot of people are looking to, legally get ROMs and emulation done too. So if, that's the way you want to go, then then understandable. But the N64 is the one I'm most excited for. As far as the price, for me, I can't justify it right now with like 6 Nintendo titles. Now, if when they release the other, what is it, like 4, I think, that are coming out?
Yeah, it was Majora's Mask and something else.
A few others, right?
Yeah,
I think once they get maybe like 20 titles out or so, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna jump in because Nintendo 64 is expensive to get these games. A lot of these games are, 20, 40, 60, $80 or more.
or
So,
100
or
dealing with,
hundreds. Yeah.
yeah, for Paper Mario.
Some of the more popular ones, especially the Mario games, can really get up there. So, if you don't have an N64, and an emulation for N64 is usually kind of crap too. It's not going to come out, exactly like or at least close enough. Like you can emulate Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and it's 99% like the console version that you're playing. It's very very close. And 64, it's more like 85% there. It's not quite there. So, that's why I want, if it's coming from Nintendo, I know it's going to be done right. It's going to be, and then with the controllers, we didn't even touch on that.
Oh, the controls. Okay, so $50 for the N64 controller. It's a little bit much, but I'm still gonna get it. But because it's the
Same.
original, it's gonna be the original way that it was meant to be played.
Yeah.
Um,
Which I
like
think you have to do with N64 specifically. Otherwise,
yeah,
it's real wonky to play
oh
like on an Xbox controller or something.
yeah, it's really wonky when you're trying to. Let's say you're playing what's it called, Legends of the Ocarina of Time, and you're trying to type in the freaking what was it, the C directionals
Yeah.
to get the song right. And you're like, and you're looking at an Xbox controller, you're going, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the games were really designed to have that specific N64 controller, and so yeah, I mean, I need to renew mine here coming up, so I'll probably stick with the $20 plan,
Well, you
and
could
then
join the family plan with me.
oh, there we go. Yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about that off pod.
Oh
Uh,
my.
but yeah, I would say yeah, for me it would be justified once they get a few more N64 titles in there. Some stuff I'm looking for. Then uh, Mischief Makers is one I would love to see.
Oh my god, I want that game so
Uh,
bad on there.
Mace: The Dark Age. I mean, there's just so many. Glover is another one. Blast Corps. There's just so many good
I'm
titles that came out back in the day.
I'm surprised they didn't add Glover
Mhm.
to it, because that was one of the launch titles, if I remember right,
It
for
was a good one.
N64.
My brother loved that game when he was a kid, and for his birthday, I think it was like maybe it was like 5 years back when we were still living together. Went on eBay and got him another copy of Glover because he hadn't. I think he lost his or sold it like a long time ago. So I surprised him with another copy of Glover because he was kind of getting back into N64 again,
Hmm.
and I ended up getting him Glover and oh god, what was the other one? Quest 64?
Oh, Quest 64 was fantastic game.
Yeah. So Mystical Ninja, another one. I mean,
Oh, that game is so expensive. Mystical Ninja starting Goemon. I have
yeah,
the Japanese. I have the Japanese version with a pin, a very very rare pin with the game. So I only spent $20 on it, but still, it's complete in box. It's one of my favorite games, and I need to replay that game so bad.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, once they get some of those in there, then I'm all for it. I'm going to jump on for sure, 100%. But yeah, I mean, $4 a month for the $50 plan. That's, I guess, the way you can look at it. It's not too bad. 50 for the year. That kind of aligns more with like Sony and Microsoft with their online subscriptions. But a lot of people complain, and I don't do a whole lot of Nintendo online, so I can't really comment too much on this. But a lot of people, from what I've seen, like on social media and blogs and different threads, is that Nintendo's online service isn't the best when you're playing, with friends. So that's what I've heard, but I can't really comment
So
one way or the other.
time out. Yeah, actually, their online service is not that bad. The
Mm.
issue is because they're playing on Wi-Fi, because a lot
Mm.
of them don't have that Ethernet port, and that's why Nintendo rectified it with the Switch OLED with their
OLED, yeah.
dock, because it has an Ethernet port built into it. If a lot of
Yeah.
people are playing, like if you're playing locally, like a LAN, you're perfectly fine. But like if you're playing over Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
it's horrible because you would need the adapter that came out for the Wii, where you plug it in through USB and then you got Ethernet port, and a lot of
Yeah.
people didn't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely don't want to use Wi-Fi and online gaming. I would try to do that on my PS4. Just a horrible experience playing on Wi-Fi. I ended up I could have ran like cable through my I was going to say my ceiling through my attic and drop it down to my TV, but I was lazy and I just got like this 50-foot cable, just ran it through the house, just because I wanted that hardwired connection. But that was at my old house. Now it's a better setup. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I want to throw that in since we talked about Nintendo Direct last time. Um, got that news of the updated pricing for the it's called the what, Nintendo Online expansion
Expansion, yeah.
expansion. So in those controllers, yeah, a little pricey. I'm not going to get the Sega one. I will get the N64 one most likely.
So
Um,
I am gonna get the second one, but I want to get the Sega 6 button one.
6 button. Are they coming out with
Mhm.
both?
So the 6 button one, you would have to get it through Japan's Nintendo shop, and
Oh,
then
really?
get it set. Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
it's only a Japan exclusive. Because I don't know why we get stuck with this. I'm not
Yeah,
trying not to curse that much, but still.
you need 6 button for Sega Genesis for sure, especially for some of those titles. It's just
Street Fighter.
easier. Yeah, I mean, if you're playing Sonic, okay, but if you're playing, yeah, like Street Fighter, yeah, you need the 6 button. But yeah, I mean, that's gonna wrap up this episode. Any final thoughts yet, Baymax, on either Blood Hunt or the Nintendo Online expansion?
Blood Hunt 6.6.8. Go check it out. Like I said, it's only our opinions. It's a decent game. Go check it out. Would recommend it if you're trying to find something new to play. If you're tired of playing Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite, and so on. Um, and then for the Nintendo, get that Nintendo expansion pack. Just say N64. If you've never played N64 games, this will be the best time to play. And you can pick up the controller for $50 as well. Is a little pricey, but it's a wireless Bluetooth controller.
Yeah, wireless, and then wish I had wireless controller for N64 back in the day, but I didn't.
They did.
Um,
It's just it was third party and it was very horrible. It's like
Not the
with the super.
best.
Yeah, it's like the Super Nintendo Sega Genesis, the RF. Like you walk right in front of it, your controller
Oh, you're
disconnects.
done. Yeah. I feel like they didn't really get it done well until the Wavebirds came out for GameCube, and I think that was official Nintendo, right? The
Yep.
Wavebird. So now they're coming out with these, so these should be pretty good. And I think if you're going to play, just my final thought on it for the controller would be if you're going to play these N64 games, yeah, you got to play them with the controller. Don't try to play them with something else. It's going to not give you the true experience that you would have had if you're like playing these growing up, and then you might not like some of the games because the controls are just kind of weird. So I would say if you're going to do it, go all the way, get the controller. You definitely won't be disappointed playing on the original controller.
Exactly.
So that's going to wrap up this episode of the Modern Gaming Weekly podcast. I will say, if you guys are enjoying the show, go ahead and check out the Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/Modern Gaming Weekly, where we post a lot of behind the scenes content, bloopers, kind of like we had at the beginning of this show. I'm going to leave this one in. But a lot of stuff, that we mess up goes into the Patreon. There's video there. There's concept art of stuff that we did when we were first starting up the podcast, done by the bearded jalapeno, and yeah, so it's cool. And then also, if you want to follow us on the Instagram as well, Modern Gaming Weekly as well, post some behind the scenes content and things about the show, things like that going on. But Baymax, if you could let people know where they can find you online, please.
Well, you can find moi on Twitter as Brown Baymax _TV, on Instagram as brownbaymax.tv, or just Brown Baymax, or you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv /Brown Baymax.
There we go. And then almost active on Twitch and Twitter as the Able Geek. And yeah, that's going to be it for this. So thank you guys for tuning in next this time. We'll see you next time, next week. Thank you guys for listening, though. And also check out the episodes on YouTube. There's going to be a little bit of a Blood Hunt play on there as well from this week. Thank you guys, and you guys have a good one.
Bye.